Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here with Midwest Market Management. Got Riley Sykart on with me here today. It is May 20th, about 48 degrees here in Northeast Wisconsin, and we're going to dive right into U.S. weather. How are you this morning, Riley?
Doing good. Got some interesting stuff going on for the 20th of May. Bringing a coat to work doesn't feel quite right, but here we are. So
yeah,
definitely
we
interesting.
feel like we could use some heat units today.
Yeah, I think the crops wouldn't mind that either, but we do have some updates, so I'll just go ahead and hop right in. So first thing I got to show today, planting progress came out last night. Corn came out at 78% versus 73 average. Only thing to really note, to the west, everybody's really ahead. Look at the Dakotas, 85% currently versus an average of 66. And North Dakota, 69 versus 34. So everything to the west getting planted ahead of schedule. The only thing that's really interesting as you look east, Ohio is at 34 versus 48. Clint mentioned in the Safrina broadcast as well, we're looking at kind of doing a special weather report that kind of puts this into perspective, those areas. And, you know, it's not fun for those guys that have caught a lot of rains, and their planting progress is showing that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana, Kentucky, those areas falling behind. Eager to talk about that in our special broadcast. So one thing I will want to point out, it's quite interesting to look at what Riley mentioned, is how far ahead the Dakotas are. And that's kind of how we, try to keep that in perspective when we're looking at things from a national yield perspective. And rather than just focusing on the areas that are being hit, look at the areas that are ahead and things are going well. Not only are they planted, but a lot of those Dakotas got some very, very, very timely needed favorable rains. The other thing I want to point out before, as Riley flips to the soybean plantings. So Indiana is behind or slightly ahead on corn, but the look at the bean plantings being ahead. And this is we've talked about this, that producers are starting to put them beans in earlier. And so I think what we're seeing here, I mean, yes, there's definitely been some wet weather down there that's delaying things. But as we're looking at the corn being behind, also want to take note that the soybeans are ahead of schedule. And when the conditions do get right, the corn hopefully will go into some better conditions.
Yep, definitely something to kind of keep your head in the game a little bit. The push to plant beans first, I would definitely say, is not something that's dying out. It's growing by the year, so important to watch. So moving ahead into the actual weather side of things, like we mentioned, next 1 to 5 days, temperatures, whether you're in Iowa or basically anywhere north of I-80, it's pretty cold. Wouldn't say it's critical enough. I haven't heard of any frost issues in Minnesota or the Dakotas yet. So I wouldn't say as of right now it's a huge issue. Stuff that has just been stuck in the ground may have a little bit of a slower emergence, but I wouldn't say highs in the 50s and lows in the 40s are a big issue. If we start seeing, below freezing and having some frost issues, then it's something to really watch and can be a big deal. But for right now, I don't have any concern. What's your thoughts, Clint?
I would agree. I mean, this is not what the doctor ordered. Like, if we could set the dial, it definitely would not be set to highs in the upper 50s. But I do believe it is, not doing irreversible damage by any means.
Yep, and to help out, look to the 6 to 10 day. We are going to warm back up. We got a short-term cold snap, but by next week we're already looking at the 25th of May, which is we're talking on Sunday. Temperatures are already back into the high 60s, low 70s, depending on where you're looking. So definitely going to be good to see that switch flick back to the warmer side. Moving in, last 13 days of rainfall, big changes on the map, Clint. Whether you're in that Dakota area that caught those huge rains from last week, or everywhere down. I mean, currently where I'm sitting, it's raining right now. Clint, is it raining up in Wisconsin as well?
Yep, just starting to spit.
Yep. So this stuff has definitely materialized, I would say, as expected. Where I'm sitting had pushing 2 inches over the last 24 hours. So rains are looking pretty realistic that they all came through. Everywhere in the West, these are well received, unless you're in that small area that got really, really hit hard. Everybody else is happy to see these rains and definitely benefiting the crops, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. I've talked to a lot of producers in the Dakotas that are very, very happy with what's going on up there.
Yep, I have as well. The one region that continuing to not like to see these rains is that southeastern corn belt, and we'll dive more into that here in a little bit. But moving forward, surface soil moisture, these rains we just got are going to change these by our Thursday broadcast. I mean, looking to see surface soil basically down that line where the rain came, a lot of those drought concerns starting to get eased up. So definitely looking to see how this changes now compared to Thursday. Starting to see Dakotas which were the nastiest regions, we're seeing green to nothing. So these rains have definitely made a big impact on that western corn belt. Nebraska still struggling a little bit, but Dakota's getting rains has been absolutely huge.
Yeah, and those rains, those 3 inches came over about a 72-hour period of time. So well absorbed, minimal runoff.
Definitely what the doctor ordered up there. So they're happy to have that. Drought monitor map will not be updated until Thursday. Moving in the 1 to 5 day, this cell that's being shown is what we're seeing right now. Rain coming down, looking like we're going to have potential all day today, potentially some yet tomorrow too. So this pattern's exactly pretty much coming exactly how it looks on the map so far. Everything's been pretty spot on. So not really anything unexpected other than that in the forecast. 6 to 10 days starting to dry up a little bit. The big question is those areas that are really wet, are they going to get a window during that time? Or is this stuff to the south going to increase and make it big enough that they can't get in the field? I don't have the answer to that question.
No, time will tell, and what kind of windows they'll get. And I would imagine some of them areas are starting to talk prevent plant. So now will they or not? Economically, it's never a very fun discussion, and boy, it's not a fun discussion to be in and have to make those decisions. But one would think that at least for isolated pockets down there, you wonder if that isn't on the mind down there. So hopefully they'll get the opportunity to get in, and it is a little further south, so they could probably plant later and have a little better shot than if you were up here by me in northeast Wisconsin. But yeah, definitely some issues down there.
Yep, definitely some issues. Moving into the 1 to 13 day, we are seeing overall just exactly what we were already looking at. This big pattern that's coming through. So not really anything else to talk about there. So on the map side, Clint, that's all I got today.
Sure, I appreciate you putting them together. Again, U.S. weather here, Safrina corn weather also out today. And please stay tuned for a special broadcast where we're going to dig into a little bit area here, and also more importantly, talk a little bit about the mindset behind the weather broadcast that we're doing, the reason why we're doing it, and what we ultimately hope our producers get out of it. So thanks again. You can find us at midwestmarketmanagement.com, and thanks to Marcus Weather Group for the maps. Stay tuned.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.